Hello, I'm Tonyah Dee from Y'all Light, and I'm also a registered dietitian. This is this month's Feed Body, Soul, and Spirit. This month, the overall theme that I chose is the heart. I think it's really important that we find a place where we can go to that is a place of peace, a place of stability, and a place where we can take our mind and all of our thoughts and merge it in with our heart. And what we'll find is if we go to our heart, we find love and wisdom and sources of creativity, new life, and possibility, because God's Spirit dwells in our heart. And that's where we will be able to hear His thoughts. His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So He can give us truth and possibility, greater possibilities than we can even see for ourselves. So what I recommend for December is a practice of inner listening, where you're spending time in your heart, listening from your heart and listening to your heart. And did you know even science has shown that when we take our mind and we merge it with our heart, that there's a feeling of harmony and peace that happen throughout our body. And biblically, this would make sense too, because we're encouraged to merge our mind with the mind of Christ, and Christ is located in our heart. So we're taking our mind and we're merging it with the mind of Christ in our heart. And then again, we're going to receive Christ's consciousness, which is higher than our consciousness. So let's go ahead and start with the body. How do we feed the body in December? What I'm recommending just to take a look at is detoxifying practices. Our body has a natural detoxification system called the lymphatic system. So we don't actually need to go on some fancy detox diet. But what we can do to detox our body is to move. Movement really helps the lymphatic system. It gets things flowing out of the body, the toxins, especially movement and water and breath. And another reason why I really recommend movement for December is movement is a nice way to prevent depression. And if you're feeling depressed, movement is a great way to alleviate those feelings of depression. So we're detoxifying even the emotions that we have stored in our body when we have movement. Some foods that you can add to your diet this month that really help the detoxification process is onions, garlic, and ginger. So tonight I'm making a big pot of vegetable soup, and I'm putting these three ingredients in my soup, and I'm going to try to eat that throughout December, have big vegetable pots of soup. So let's go on to the soul. Now remember, the soul includes our mind, our emotion, and our will, our free will, or our desires. If we start with the mind, one thing to remember about the mind is it's a storage place. It's just a small part of us, but it's very active. So from the time we're born, it stores all of our experiences, all of our knowledge. It's just like a computer backup drive. It's storing everything. And it's also like the mass media. So the mass media takes all this information, stores it, and then it reports it to us, whether it's true or false. And we have to discern, is that true or is that false? And we have to do the same thing with our mind. So this month, if your mind is needing some more happy thoughts, search in the mind for more of your happy memories, happy thoughts. We can take our sad memories and our sad thoughts or negative, and we can try to balance it out at least with the other thoughts and memories that we do have stored in our mind. So we do have some control over our mind. We find happy thoughts, make new thoughts, and balance out all of the negative, critical, doubtful thoughts with hopeful, positive. It's okay to just be crazy positive this month, so that your mind at least feels balanced. Now with emotions, by this month, which is December, we probably, all of us, have a lot of buildup of emotion in our body. Emotions are stored in our body, and it's been such an emotional year that we're probably feeling, when you have a lot of emotional buildup, you'll feel kind of heavy, kind of dark, kind of sluggish. So one of the ways we can release our emotions is through tears. So tears almost takes it's like a little water packet of information, and that information might be something that you're sad about or something that you're angry about or disappointed about, and it takes it out of your body. So it actually is like it packages that emotion and releases it from your body. So I encourage you to cry, and you can journal, and when you're journaling, cry. Find a good friend, or anyway, tears are very healing. So I do recommend just getting them out however you can. Movement, tears, and then in our will, basically what I sense everybody is really desiring more than anything else this month is change. We all want change. We want radical change, and we want the change to happen now. But unfortunately, the only thing we can change is ourself and how we perceive things and how we're acting towards things. So one of the things I recommend is start now to visualize how you want to end the year and how you want to live your year in 2021. What is your lifestyle going to be like? What kind of food are you going to eat? What kind of people are you going to hang out with? Is there a service, something service-oriented you've always wanted to do? Or is there a creative project that you've always wanted to do? Start to visualize what your life can look like for 2021. And then initiate, so even the smallest movement towards that visualization will make a very large difference. So sometimes we think just our little teeny things don't really matter, but it is the small steps that we take moving in the direction that we visualize that gets us there. So start initiating some movement after you spend time visualizing what you desire. So let's go on to the spirit. Now remember, the spirit is in our heart, and it's a lamp and it's a light. Our spirit searches all of our inner parts. The Bible verse is, the spirit is the lamp of the Lord, searching all of our inner parts. So here's our inner parts. One of the things the spirit does for us is it really helps us when we're soul searching, when we're trying to find more truth, when we're trying to do this inner listening practice in our heart. It's the spirit that really helps us to shine the light, shine his lamp on stuff in our mind that we don't need anymore, emotions that we can let go of, and things that we desire, dreams that we desire. The light can be shined on our soul, and this is, our spirit really works for our soul. As a matter of fact, there's Bible verses that talk about how the soul yearns for and longs for the spirit, and that's because our own soul wants to be seen by our own spirit, and our inner parts want to be heard and valued and seen by ourselves. And when we're doing that, we're basically really becoming better friends with ourselves. We're learning how to love from our heart ourselves. And it's a practice, so that's why I'm recommending how you start this practice is you're dwelling in your heart and you're learning an inner listening practice. And stillness is very helpful when you're doing this practice. So contemplative practices like meditation and prayer and reading scripture or just being quiet in nature, going for walks, this is very helpful to allow this whole soul searching to occur. Now remember, just our soul works for us. So it's really working on our behalf. So when you hear something in your mind, emotions, in your soul, if you hear something, just try to listen to it and try not to react. Just listen, accept, show it love and kindness. And in that way, that's really dwelling in the heart space, and it allows you more time to make a decision to initiate some movement forward. So the last thing I want to leave you with is believe. Believe that our heart and God's Spirit is working for us. It's working for our good on our behalf. And I believe that God's working in the world on our behalf right now. It might not look that way, but He's shining light on things that are very dark and things that need to change. And while He's doing all that outer work, what we can do is do the same thing. We can take God's light and shine it inward, and we can change what we can, which is ourselves. We can become more loving, we can become more wise, we can become more creative, and there's endless possibilities of what we can do when we're connected to God's Spirit. So I hope that this was helpful for December. I just wanted to say in January I'm releasing a 6-week course, very simple. The course is going to be on how to manage the mind. And I hope that you can join me in January for this course. So anyway, I hope you have a very blessed December, and go in grace, go with grace, and thank you so much for being part of the Y'all Light community.